What is up, internet? It's your boy Ronan back at you with another video. If you don't know who I am an illustrator, artist, designer, but most importantly, comic fan. I have a really cool webcomic called The Heavy. You can check it out in the link in the description below. Anyways, today's video is going to be a little different. I've decided to break all my reviews out into their own videos. This is going to be not really so much a review, it's just me talking about a cool comic book that I like. So yeah, I'm not going to be showing my face in this one because I just don't feel like getting on camera for these. So these probably ain't going to have any of my face on them. But yeah, let's jump into the video. All right, so today I want to talk about a comic book that I really like. When I say I really like this comic book, I mean I really like this comic book. This comic book is literally the coolest comic book, period. This is literally my favorite comic book ever. And when I say it's my favorite comic book, I'm not exaggerating at all. I'm not saying it to like, I'm not saying this to exaggerate. Literally, this is the comic book to me. A lot of times, being an artist myself, when I read a comic book, I might be like, oh, I like the way they did this, or oh, that's creative, or that's cool, oh, that's interesting. But a lot of times I'm looking at the comic book from an artist standpoint and not from a reader standpoint. Or it's almost like I'm doing it professionally. I look at it professionally, not from the standpoint of like I said, like the audience. This comic book, I read it with like that sense of wonderment and awe that I used to do when I was a kid and I wasn't that good at art yet or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's called Kill 6 Billion Demons, and this is actually a web comic, which you could actually go read it for free. The dude named Abaddon, Tom Parkinson Morgan, but he goes by Abaddon, I think. He just puts it online and then he collects them into volumes, and then you can buy them at the comic shop. I mean, if you're not into web comics, but you can read the whole thing for free, and it's pretty cool. It's actually ongoing too, so it's probably like 500 pages by now or something like that. Really long ongoing comic, really dense, a lot going on. But anyways, let me jump into it. So it's about this girl. Her and her boyfriend were. It just starts off. Her and her boyfriend were about to get it on, and then this weird alien-looking thing comes in the room, shows up, and as soon as that thing shows up, these things show up. These other alien-looking things show up on these horses and cut his head off. He stabs it, and then they take the guy, her boyfriend, and then the thing as it's dying, this alien stabs this thing into the girl's forehead right here, and then she goes to this weird plane of reality, this other plane of reality, and then she ends up in this crazy world with all these weird, I mean, the characters are just so strange looking. And the thing about it, basically what this comic is like, one thing I really dig about it, it has a lot of like Eastern influence. It's got a lot of kind of like Indian stuff in here, a lot of kind of some Hindu kind of stuff, as far as motifs and the art style, some Buddhist kind of stuff in here, and a little bit of Christian stuff too. But a lot of Eastern influence and a lot of kind of like that area where you don't see a lot of media done on, like I said, Indian kind of stuff, and kind of like, I don't know what you would call that region, like Kuala Lumpur or whatever, in Asia, where it's kind of Indian influence, but then it's also kind of not, you know what I mean? It's kind of Asian. I know Indians call themselves Asian, but you know, I'm differentiating between the two. So anyways, the girl goes to this world, falls into this other dimension, and what happens is this is kind of like, it's technically heaven, I guess. And let me try and find a good page. Here's a good shot. A lot of really cool big shots, like big panoramic shots of the world. It's so impressive looking. It's so cool. But basically, she falls into this world, and it's heaven. One thing I don't like about this comic book, a little bit too much exposition is explaining how the world works, because there's a lot of history, and this is in 100-some pages of this first volume, and there's a lot that goes on. Like, there was heaven, and then there was there was God, and then the God split himself into two gods, and then and some of this stuff, like I said, it's very Hindu inspired. You can tell by like look at this thing right here. This god Yusun, and Yusun split himself into a bunch of two gods, and then those two gods became like a whole bunch of other gods. It's like they broke down, and then those gods, what did they do? They kind of like built this place. So the lesser gods built the place. Here's another good shot of the place, of him. Looks really cool. This big red thing in the middle of this red city, and it's kind of just in this void, and there's just water coming out and just spilling off the side into the void. It looks so cool, and there's just various buildings and stuff. But so then those gods killed each other, the lesser gods. The 777,000 lesser gods killed each other, and then they made angels, I think. Anyways, also the lesser gods made all these multiverse type things, all these different worlds. Like I said, it's very kind of complicated, and they made these lesser worlds, and Earth is one of these worlds. So there's a bunch of worlds. So that's why one of the reasons why all the characters in the comic book look so weird, because they're from all the various worlds that all of these 777,000 gods made. So there's like 777,000 worlds or whatever. So Earth is one of those worlds. So like, you know, all the characters are crazy. On one world, they might be bug people. On another world, there might be the people. Like, look at these just crazy looking characters. I'm gonna put some up on screen too, because like I said, you may not be able to see it, how much glare there is. But anyway, so also, like, this is what I mean by too some Christianity stuff. Like, there are angels and demons in this world, and so the angels are kind of like the lawmen, and they very much look like angels of Christianity. If you know anything about the Bible, like how angels in the Bible kind of like have a lot of wings with like eyeballs all over them and stuff. Like, they don't, if you don't know anything, they don't look like cherubs or any of that stuff. They kind of look like, if you read a description of them, they're kind of horrifying. So this is one of the angels, but the angels need armor. Like, they live, she says, we are spiritless of cold, smokeless white fire, our home the void outside creation. So they look like I said, biblical angels, but they're not technically like biblical angels. But they have to have this kind of armor to survive, to live in the physical world. And the demons are kind of like the same. The human beings got the demons, and they put masks on them, and they name them. And when they put masks on them and name them, it makes them kind of weaker, I guess, and it gives them form. And then they grant power to human beings and stuff, but they're devils too, though, so they, trick them and do all kind of stuff. So you have the angels and the devils. Again, this is a very complex comic. How the humans came to live in this world is that the human beings, somehow humans got to this world, like champions of mankind got to this world after all the gods and lesser gods killed each other. And then they had an age of enlightenment, and they ruled for a while, and then they got really, really powerful. Then they all killed each other except for 7. So there's like, basically, in this heaven world, there's like 7 dudes ruling. And they look really cool and interesting. They have a meeting. Yeah, like, look at these dudes. Look how cool this dude looks. Let's see if so anyways, these guys run the world, and there was a king. There was a head king at one point before these guys, and he was, I guess, really a good guy. I don't know. It's very confusing. But these 7 kings rule the world, and they have basically gates to all the other dimensions and the other worlds. So they have to. The gates, the keys to the gates are keys, but they're also super weapons. So basically, that's what this girl has in her head. That's what that dude stuck in her head. He stuck the key to a gate. And there's a tenuous piece between these 7 lords who run this world. And so basically, they're gonna, if anybody finds that she has this key, it's gonna set off a war. So she runs into this angel called White Chain. And it's interesting because, again, like the angels, another thing about the angels that they do is the angels kind of look effeminate, but they're like, people keep referring to White Chain as a female, but White Chain will say he's not a female. And I think it's kind of alluding to kind of like in the Bible when the angels, what were they in Gomorrah? I can't remember, Sodom, where all the men want to sleep with the angels. So I guess like I said, he takes a lot of stuff from various mythologies or various religions. And so the angels are kind of effeminate looking. So this is White Chain. Although his name's it's not just White Chain, it's like White Chain that they have those really kind of cool names, like White Chain that you know flows in the darkness or something like that. It's like a long name. But so White Chain is basically kind of like a cop, really, in this world. And White Chain is kind of cool because whenever White Chain fights somebody, is about to fight, she says a prayer where she goes like, "Forgive me for this." What is it? She says this prayer, and then she says, "Forgive me for this violence I'm about to inflict," and then she just starts whooping ass. But this little prayer she says, this thing about the comic book, this dude, I don't know. I don't know if he knows a lot about religions and stuff, but it's so deep, and sort of it's sort of analogous to a lot of other kind of religions. So the people who he's praying to, or whoever the names he's saying aren't real, real things. But it's like it's so deep, it's kind of like a real religion. So White Chain, she stumbles upon White Chain, and White Chain wants to help her. Is trying to help her because, again, she has this super weapon in her head that will cause a war if people figure out about it. So then they go to this other demon to try and figure out what they should do with it. And it's just so creative. Like, look at this dude, man. Look at this demon. See, he has this mask on. And, I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to see in this thing. So this demon, she has there's just so many just cool creative things in here. So this is a slaver. There's a bunch of guilds. So this is a slaver guild. And so White Chain brings the girl Allison, claiming she's going to sell them to him just to like sneak in. And it's kind of cool. Apparently in this world, the angels, if they lie, the stone body that they're in will start to crack. So they can't, if they lie, you'll know it because their body will start cracking. But nobody notices that she's cracking. And then, she gets in here. They get in here to meet this other demon because this other demon apparently stole one of these keys before. So he gets in there to try and talk to this demon and go, "Hey, what do we do about this? Because you're the only one that ever stole one of these." And then word gets out that this thing is here, that this weapon is here, and everybody inside the guild starts fighting. All the random people. Oh man, let me show this really cool picture too of the guild. Like, he does a lot of really cool cutaways. Like I said, so many cool environmental drawings, but he also just does so many cool ones. He likes to do these cool little cutaways. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, like look at this. I might have to put it up on screen because from the webcomic, because I don't know if this comes through, but it's just a whole cutaway of the building, and it's just so dense with explaining what's going on everywhere. Also, it's kind of cool. These buildings, all the buildings in this world in heaven, they're basically dead gods that the people who came after converted into buildings and stuff. So this is technically a dead god. Let's see. So chaos ensues when everybody figures out that there's this weapon here, and all the people in the Slavers Guild are fighting. And this is one cool. This angel. So I don't understand why this angel is bad, because I don't know why this angel particularly is bad, but this angel's name is Delicious. This comic book is crazy. I mean, this is why I love it. It's so weird and crazy. And again, the angel's kind of weirdly effeminate looking. I don't know if it's supposed to be a female or male. Like I said, White Chain is not a female, although later on, I think White Chain does start. I haven't read all of it, all 500 pages, but later on, I think White Chain does decide to become a female. But Delicious is also very female looking, and Delicious looks awesome. Like, they throw these cool needle darts, and that's Delicious' main weapon. And so I don't know how, again, like, why Delicious is bad though, because Delicious normally, I mean, Angel would be a good guy normally. So, anyways, everybody's basically trying to get this thing out of this girl's head. She's a super weapon now, and she doesn't even know what's going on. So those other things that took her boyfriend at the beginning are called Thorn Knights, and I think they're angels too. But basically what's happened is there was an original king before, who ruled apparently, who was a decent or whatever before the big war where it just whittled down to 7 rulers. And either there's a prophecy that he's going to come back, or he's going to be reincarnated. There's also stuff about reincarnation in here. Like I said, a lot of Hindu kind of stuff, a lot of Buddhist kind of stuff. And I think that they thought that her boyfriend was going to be him, or maybe his boyfriend was him, and these Thorn Knights killed this dude before he could give him the thing, and so he just gave it to her. I don't know yet. I can't tell. But one of them is supposed to be, I guess, either the second coming of this king, or I think that's what it's supposed to be. Again, the story's kind of confusing, and I think his name, I don't know if his name is supposed to be Kill 6 Billion Demons. I think I could be incorrect, but I think that's what his name is. So that's where the name of the book comes from. But I mean, it's just so creative. Like, at one point, the angel gives the girl a drink, and she drinks the drink, and so now she can understand everybody's language in this world. I mean, there's thousands of languages. She can understand all the languages. And then it's like, and then she grows horns, and then the angel's like, I gave you a demon. There was a demon in that drink, and that's why you grew the horns, but they'll fall off, because like the demons have the gift of speech. They can understand all tongues. So then he's like, but your horns will fall off pretty soon. And so it's just all the characters are so weird looking. Like, these right here are angels, but they were prime angels. So I guess these gigantic angels were back before these current iteration of angels. So these angels were gigantic. They're all gone now, though. But their armor, like I said, they have to have armor to live in this world. Their armor still remains, and so they use it as like transportation around the city. Everybody uses them as transportation around the city. And I mean, just so many cool. It's such a creative comic book. It almost blows me away on every panel that I changed. It's just like I'm like, what's the next page? The next page just blows me away with how creative and cool it looks. And it's just there's a lot of rules in this book, and it's very deep how it's thought out. It's way more thought out than a lot of things I've ever read. I'd say this might have the deepest lore of anything I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's truly creative and super interesting. Like, I like when they come into the Slavers Guild, and the angel comes in here, and this guy says, "You're not welcome here, lawbringer." And then the angel says, "Welcome or not, I will enter." And then he says, "Your reincarnation." And so it's kind of silly too. It doesn't take itself seriously, which again, that's one of the things I love. I love comic books, even though I do comic books that take themselves very seriously. But so it's pretty cool. And I don't know, I haven't, like I said, I'm not into the 500. I'm not into like the 500th page or not yet. I'm probably about 200 pages in.
but it's really cool, really interesting, and the artwork is very, very sketchy. I mean, this dude can draw really well, but I think he kind of just gets it done. So I'm not gonna lie, the artwork's not that great. It's not bad. It's just, you can tell it's done very fast. I think he does like 10 pages a week. I mean, not a week, a month. So it's done very quickly. So it's not the best artwork. But the coloring is very good. Like, it's very sketchy. But I mean, he does 10 pages a month. That's quite a, I don't know. I guess he draws probably and colors them himself. So if he's doing 10 pages a month, that's a lot for one person to draw, ink, color. Probably does on a computer though. But in some of this, I don't like some of the lettering. But other than that, I mean, it is a really cool comic. And like I said, so many cool ideas on every page, you know. So many interesting ideas. And a lot to keep up with, but just a really awesome comic book. And it, like I said, it blows my mind. Every time I change a page, it's just like, wow, what? Oh, that's a cool idea. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And again, also so much detail. I love super detailed stuff. I love stuff like horror vacui, which is the idea of covering every square inch with something. And it's just like every inch of this, it's almost like you have to look at it in quadrants, and you have to re-look at stuff because you go, oh, I didn't notice that thing there. Or I didn't notice, you know, this guy had a bell on his head. Or I didn't notice that, you know, this dude was smoking a cigarette. Or, you know, just there's so many little things to notice on every page. And it's just a wonderful comic. So, yeah, this is literally my favorite comic book out there. Kill 6 Billion Demons. You can read it online for free, or buy the collected editions, but super dope comic.
So that was a video. Again, it was way longer than I wanted it to be, but you know, I get excited about comics. I didn't even talk about everything that was in that comic. I could have gone on forever, but like I said, you should check it out. It's a really dope comic. But anyways, if you liked it, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And go check out my comic, The Heavy. TheHeavy.com is heavy with an I, not a Y. And I'll catch you next time.